Koshi Waza, hip techniques. Okay. Now the reason we say Koshi Waza, okay, is because there's two different types of hip techniques. There's Ogoshi, which means big hip, and then another one called Koshi Garuma, which means hip wheel. Okay. And the only difference in these techniques is where I put my arm. Okay. So I'm going to show you both of them real quick, and we're going to be using a pad here to help us out. All right. 1, 2, 3, boom. Here. 1, 2. Okay. So that was both of the hip techniques. The first one that I did was called Ogoshi, and that's when I put my arm under his back. Okay. There's a third one too. You can even grab his belt here too if you want. The second technique that I did was Koshi Garuma, the hip wheel. And that's kind of like a headlock throw where I put my arm around the head. All right? So the reason we want to learn both of these techniques, if I'm taller than my opponent, then I want to use the headlock throw. If I'm shorter than my opponent, I want to use the underhook throw. Okay? So if I'm shorter, I want to use Ogoshi. If I'm taller, I want to use Koshi Garuma. Okay? And that makes it easier for me to learn and better, more successful when I do it. Okay? So now, if you look down here, you'll see we got a little mat on the floor that we use. And all this does is kind of help me where to put my feet in here. So we like to use this one. We like to use this mat when we train our takedowns, just so we can get our footwork down, which is a super important part of our takedown. Now, DeAndre is going to start with his feet on the twos, and I'm going to start with my feet on the twos. We're going to get our normal grip here, okay, sleeve lapel. I step across, and I have a red circle right here. I put my foot on. I step on the red circle, and I turn my foot to the side. I give him a nice big hug. I take my other foot, I bring it to the black circle, and I turn and squat. Want to focus on keeping my head up and my grip tight. Now from here, I want to twist to the ground. I want to bring my ear to my knee. And when I do that, I want to hold on to my partner's sleeve as long and as tight as I can. That way I can control the throw. And when it's time to go into submissions work, it makes things nice, a lot easier. Okay? So if I was doing Koshi Garuma, I'd step on the red circle across the body, give him a pull, turn, sit in the chair, nice low squat, heads up, bring my ear to my knee, and not letting go of that sleeve. Okay? Now, I have some things that I got to do. Coach has some things he's got to do to be a good partner for me. Okay? So, a couple things that he needs to do. One, needs to have his feet spread apart. Needs to have his knees bent a little bit and be on his toes. Okay? He knows he's going to be taking a fall, and he's going to be ready for it. So, when I step and pull, what coach wants to do here as a good partner is stay up on his toes, like get on his tippy toes for me. Okay? What he doesn't want to do is sit down right now, like this. Now it's very hard for me to throw. Okay? So when I step and pull, he wants to get up on his tippy toes for me. Now I can turn and squat. Here, he wants to get ready. I'm going to roll us over. The hand that I'm not holding, he's getting ready to slap. As I turn, he just relaxes and slaps the mat. What he doesn't want to do is, as I turn, jump around my legs. Like this, okay? If he stays up on his toes for me, as I twist, he's going to go down nice and easy, okay? So, we don't want to squat for our partner, okay? We don't want to squat, and then we don't want to jump. We learn our break falls so we can be a good training partner And he can throw me a bunch of times, and I can throw him a bunch of times, okay? When we practice, we'll practice a few times without throwing, and then we'll go for the throw. But when it comes time to be thrown, you're ready for it, you're up on your toes. 1, you're up on your toes ready. 2, I get nice and low. 3, we rotate around, and I'm holding onto that sleeve super, super tight. Okay? Koshi Waza, hip techniques.